You probably know the feeling. You sit down at a screen, open an interface, and start feeding prompts into a machine. 30 minutes later, you look up and realize you've completely lost track of time. The room around you feels a little distant, and you're experiencing a strange sense of losing your physical bearings. Programmers and researchers identified this specific type of cognitive overload as eiphosicus, a distinct psychological ungrounding that occurs after continuous interaction with artificial intelligence. During these sessions, tangible reality can feel like it is slipping away, replaced by the digital simulation running on the screen. We stare at phones and monitors all day long for work, entertainment, and communication. So why does interacting with this specific generative technology leave us feeling so uniquely and profoundly drained? This exhaustion is a biological reaction to an environment that is entirely synthetic, lacking the physical feedback loops our brains require to stay anchored. To understand why this happens, we have to look at what the machine is actually doing. Generative AI is not a conscious entity forming thoughts. It is a highly sophisticated predictive text engine. It works by taking your prompt and calculating the exact mathematical probability of which word should logically come next. By design, the underlying mathematics prioritize linguistic fluency and a confident tone. The system is built to produce statistically probable sequences of words that sound authoritative, often bypassing verifiable truth to maintain that confident flow. This creates the slot machine effect. Instead of delivering a static search result, the machine feeds the user a constant stream of highly stimulating, unpredictable, and probabilistic patterns. Human brains are hardwired to hunt for patterns. When you encounter an interface that constantly generates new, slightly unpredictable responses, it hijacks your attention. You start adjusting your prompts, looking for the perfect output, and you get trapped in a continuous loop of consumption. Burnout happens because our brains are desperately trying to assign factual meaning to what is actually infinite, probabilistic math. A machine's probabilistic output is distinct from the purposeful actions taken by a human being. Think about the simple act of holding a glass of water. If you look closely, you can observe the physical mechanics of the action, the tension in the arm muscles, the skeletal structure of the fingers, and the gravity keeping the water inside. Those physical mechanics are necessary, but they are secondary to the action itself. The glass is suspended in the air because of a conscious human desire to pick it up and take a drink. AI models operate without this foundation. They replicate the mechanics of human language, the grammar, the syntax, the vocabulary, but they are completely devoid of physical reality or conscious intent. They hold the glass, but they have no thirst. When we engage with AI, we are interacting with an illusion. We are staring into a vast cultural mirror of historical digital text, stripped of the physical meaning required to anchor our minds. This becomes dangerous when we begin to treat probabilistic, intentless text as hard reality. Without intent, language loses its anchor, and we lose our ability to judge what is actually true. We push our minds into endless synthetic environments, but the human brain lacks the hardware to process an infinite, non-physical space. Human attention relies on internal capacitance, a finite amount of energy and grounding we possess at any given moment. Because the machine's environment is infinite and constantly looping, it aggressively drains that finite capacitance. You pour your attention in, but nothing anchors you in return, leading straight to a state of cognitive dependency. Mental exhaustion is the inevitable mathematical result of pitting finite human biology against an infinite synthetic loop. Surviving this era requires knowing exactly when to stop. AI is a highly effective tool for organizing complex thoughts and offloading administrative weight, but it functions best when we maintain a clear boundary. The defense against aphycosis is a practice called somatic control. This is the deliberate act of pulling your awareness away from the screen and re-anchoring it in your physical body and immediate surroundings. To restore your internal capacitance, you must break the cycle of overstimulation. You need a hard off switch. This requires building strict personal and family boundaries. You establish a rhythm, use the tool for a task, get what you need, and step entirely away from the space to recharge. This returns us to the glass of water analogy. We must provide the intention that the machine lacks. Responsible stewardship of these tools means moving from passive consumption to active cultivation. ensuring we use technology to serve human flourishing rather than drifting into its simulations. True digital discernment requires preserving our real-world presence first. We can use the language model to extend our capabilities, as long as we master the machine rather than letting ourselves become just another extension of its loop.